Before we get into it, I would like to give some content warnings for the movie I'm about to discuss. Animal cruelty, animal death, blood, parents dying, children dying, war, depression, and firearms. Yep, this one's a doozy. The internet seems to have a fascination with dark, depressing, and violent animated movies. Movies like Felly Day, Watership Down, Plague Dogs, the sort. I never saw any of these movies as a child, thankfully, but there was another movie that I did see that I thought fit into this same category of movies, yet I had never heard anybody talk about it. Eventually, I found out why. It's not available in English. That explains it. But I'm still going to talk about it because I'm sick of people not knowing about this movie. So, if this movie isn't really available, then how did I come across it? Well, I am actually from Finland, and when I was a little kid, this one Finnish TV channel decided that they want to have more content for children. Problem was that the content they wanted to show did not have Finnish dubs made for it yet. Dubs are expensive to make and children cannot read subtitles. So instead of dubbing things properly, they would either hire a voice actor to narrate literally the entire movie, presumably, though I can't know for sure, in one take, or they would hire a bunch of teenagers to do their dubs, but that's a story for another day. In 2005, they decided to air a family movie called TaoTao, the story of Panda. I was 4. My little sister was a baby. Yet our unsuspecting parents sat us down to watch this family movie. I have a hunch that this one time was the only time that this movie was ever shown on that channel, because the recording of this movie that I found on YouTube still has the same ad breaks in the recording. Let's briefly go through the plot of this movie. A panda bear called TaoTao is born in a peaceful valley in China in which he lives with his mother panda. This first part of the movie reminds me a lot of Bambi. We have the little panda growing up happily with the other animals, but eventually hunters come to the valley and the mother panda gets shot. TaoTao then grows up and meets a girl panda. And I must say that this scene in which they meet is a cinematic masterpiece.
Minä tykkään sinusta.
Also, when I was a child, I thought that TaoTao was a girl. He was voiced by a woman and Finnish doesn't have gendered pronouns, so... Gay pandas. The hunters return and release dogs that begin chasing the girl panda, again very similar to Bambi. But this is where things take a sharp turn to a different direction. TaoTao attempts to distract the dogs from his new girlfriend and he gets captured and taken away. For forever. He never returns to the valley. There is a really long and daunting scene of him being shipped overseas, after which he gets put in a zoo. And over time, he begins to forget everything from his past life and instead just follows the same routine every day. The only thing that is even remotely good in his life are his caretakers, but even they are being forced to teach TaoTao tricks by the greedy owner of the zoo. At one point, the zoo brings in another panda, who is supposed to become TaoTao's mate. Unfortunately, it turns out that the zoo people don't know their shit and accidentally brought in a male panda. Gay pandas. And once it is found out, TaoTao's new friend gets taken away and he's all by himself again. One day TaoTao sees his chance to escape and does so, but even after the dangerous journey through the city, he is unable to return to his home because, well, there's the ocean. So he gets taken back to the zoo, never dares to hope that he could ever get back home, and eventually forgets almost everything about his old home. Once he realizes this, he tries once more to remember, and he succeeds! Which is illustrated by an extremely epilepsy-unfriendly shot that I'm not even going to show here, but you can check it out if you want, but warning, it's bad. And he finds hope for returning to his home. The movie ends with him sitting in his cage, saying, "I will succeed one day." Except that apparently that is not what happens at the end. The Finnish version had decided to leave out the minor detail that TaoTao fucking dies! TaoTao In fact, this is apparently not the only thing that they decided to censor. They also left out this one dude smoking a cigarette, TaoTao's mother's dead body bleeding into the river, the fact that one of TaoTao's caretakers dies in the war. There's also this scene in which TaoTao's neighbors, aka the mouse family living in the zoo walls, also die. The scene in which the father mouse comes to tell the horrible news to TaoTao is kept in, but in the Finnish dub he says that his family is fine, they just couldn't stand to see TaoTao suffering so much, so they moved away and the father mouse stayed because he feels like he's a father figure to the panda or something. I have to say that in some cases, the Finnish censorship actually did not make the movie any easier to watch. Take the ending scene for example. Even as a small child, I could understand that TaoTao is never ever getting out of the zoo. Him being left there with that false hope is, to me, infinitely more depressing than him getting to reunite with his friends and mother and his home when he dies. Anyways, remember how I said that there is no English version of this movie available? Well, that was true, until a while ago. When I found out that this lesser-known movie was available in Finnish on YouTube, I made it my life's mission to show it to other Finnish-speaking people. A lot of them were more familiar with the cartoon that's based on this movie. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention the cartoon! There is a children's cartoon that takes place during TaoTao's childhood before his mom dies that was made after this movie that is very lighthearted and fun. Imagine the horror of the people who have watched this cartoon as a kid when I show them the continuation of the story. But yeah, about half a year ago, I linked the movie to the YouTube user Moonbeanie, who participated in one of my multi-animator projects, and she watched it, and then I linked the full Japanese version, which I understood pretty much nothing about, and then she said, yeah, I'm going to translate that to English. So now, if you would like to check out this movie that I just completely and utterly spoiled, there's a link in the description of this video to Moonbeanie's upload of the Japanese dub with English subtitles available. The movie is still aesthetically interesting, and I didn't really go over any of the themes of this movie, so if you like traumatizing cartoon animal movies, then feel free to check it out. Thanks for listening to me talk about this movie. I am sick of people not knowing about it. Thank you. Bye.